30 years, 3 decades. The Democrats are less popular than they have ever been in 3 decades right now. Guys, the time to push the throttle all the way to the floor and relegate these people and their ideology to the dustbin of history is right freaking now. You want to push your gun rights forward? This would be the time to do it. Everything I'm going to show you is going to be linked in the description box below. Can't wait to hear what you guys think. And of course, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Turn the notification bell on, because every time you do one of those things, or all three, gun controllers, paper cuts, lemon juice, it's terrible. You should do it. All right, let's get into this, guys. We got to dive into something. I got to show you this. So Democrats get lowest rating from voters in 35 years. Why is that important, Braden? Well, funny you asked. Let me dive into that. Because inside the Democrat Party, think of the Democrat Party as this like little burrito, right? This burrito of virtue signaling and depression. Well, inside that burrito, like the little beans, that's gun control. And the gun controllers live inside that little Democrat burrito. So what we're going to do is we're going to completely make that burrito untenable and have no one to buy it. That's the whole point. If we can figure out how to continue to relegate all of this control and tyranny the Democrats push through their gun control, we will therefore destroy the impetus for gun control and move gun rights forward where they should be, away from all the infringements that we suffer under across the board. All right, that's why we cover it. It's a big thing. Whole enchilada. Let's get it. All right, Republicans are preferred on most issues that decide elections despite unease with Trump over the economy, tariffs, and foreign policy. Democrats get lowest rating from voters in 35 years. That's not good. I'm just going to say it. I feel confident in saying it. That's not a good look. Now, the reason that this is important is not because I'm going to sit here and blow smoke up your skirt and tell you that Republicans are the answer to everything that we despise. Nope, they're part of the problem. However, according to this polling, it says that we are in a position where they're hated a little bit less than the Democrats are. Well, I mean, I guess that's something, I guess. Race to the bottom is a thing, isn't it? So while we get into this, this is an actual graphical representation. And I'm going to tie all this together in a second for you. Don't mind that Donald Trump is underwater by 17 points thing. That is not this graph. It's actually net favorability of Democrats and Republican parties. You see that blue line that's just crashing out, kind of like, the heart monitor on a really, really bad part of the hospital? Yeah, just keeps on going down. Yeah, that's the Democrats. The red one is still struggling, but they're like kind of on that like ICU, like life support thing. The blue is just, oh my God, it's going down like you would not believe. But I can't imagine why that would be. Oh, I'm going to show you. The Democratic Party's image has eroded to its lowest point in more than 3 decades, according to a new Wall Street Journal poll, with voters seeing Republicans as better at handling most issues that decide elections. That point is really key. Now, before I dive into the details here, I want to just say one little thing about the Republicans. The Republicans are going to be fixed by us changing the culture. It's not that we're going to get the right Republican. We're going to change the culture to the point where the right Republican is a natural solution. It will be untenable for a rhino to be in place with the culture that we are creating. That's why I ask you to subscribe in the whole paper cuts and lemon juice thing. But let's get into this. President Donald Trump's approval rating remains underwater, but Democrats are faring worse, according to the new poll from the Wall Street Journal released Saturday. Lowest point in 3 decades of Wall Street polling has 63% of voters holding an unfavorable view of the party. Okay, 63%. That's in a room of 100 people, 63 of them hate you. Wow, impressive. It can't be any of the things that you drive towards, like special interest of, unpopular things like, like transgenderism, or the bent towards socialism you guys have, or the potential talking down and arrogance of every single person who's not in 100% agreement with their litmus tests, or just the overall whiny nature of the Democrats in general, which has relegated them to an eye roll. If you can't pass the septum test, which is obviously the nose ring, and you can't pass the change of tire test, why would I have a conversation with you any other way? I can't relate to you at all. Anyway, let's keep going. Only 33% of voters held a favorable view of Democrats, with a meager 8% holding a very favorable opinion. Remember, this is in Politico. For the net negative favorability of 30 percentage points. Despite criticisms of the administration's handling of inflation, disapproval outweighed approval by 11 points in the poll. The Republican Party, by 10 points, is trusted more than Democrats to deal with inflation. Again, it's kind of like we're in a position in our political system where it is which one is the least crap sandwich? We're going to change the culture to where it's an obvious benefit and net positive so you're not ingesting crap. But for right now, in this individual moment, you've got slightly despised and then, oh my God, not a chance in hell despised. Fantastic. Great job, two-party system. All right, let's keep on going. By 17 points, voters disapproved of Trump's handling of tariffs while still trusting Republicans more on the issue to Democrats by 7 points. Both Trump and the Republican Party at large are also disliked by more Americans than liked, but by far lower margins than Democrats in this survey. The president has a -7 net point unfavorability, while the GOP is at -11. So Trump is actually better than the Republicans. The Democrat brand is so bad that they don't have the credibility to be critical of Trump or the Republican Party. That's the whole point. It comes down to credibility, realism, likability. If you are so disliked by the population that is voting for you, that you don't even have the credibility to lean on the don't you hate this guy angle, which is pure emotion, which is the Democrats' bread and butter, you're doing something wrong. You want a really great case in point? Just happened 2 days ago. Sydney Sweeney is now a Nazi because she wore blue jeans and she's in a film or in an advertisement for American Eagle. Yep, clearly a Nazi because she said the word jeans. They have relegated themselves to an eye roll. Everyone, oh my God, what are they pissed about now? Well, it turns out they couldn't find anything, so they made up the fact that they're upset about an ad campaign for Sydney Sweeney wearing blue jeans. Yep, definitely Third Reich. All of this stuff is on my podcast. You can watch it, you can follow it yourself. This is the whole point. We are in a position where they have put themselves in a such disfavored perspective with the population that you can now push with all the other pieces to gain more goodies than you would before. That's the point. You have to understand that in the overall broad-based perception of these two parties, the Democrats are far less likable and the Republicans are just irritable. You can use that. You can basically push with all your goodies like the Second Amendment rights stuff that we're so far about, right? Because the Democrats don't have any credibility to stand on. That's the entire point. Until they reconnect with real voters and working people on who they're for and what their economic message is, they're going to have problems. Well, they're not going to do that because the far left progressives aren't going to let them do that. It's going to be a litmus test and who's the most woke in order to get any kind of credibility. And if you don't, we'll cancel you and attack you, just like we did the Republicans. They're in a death pact, effectively. Despite widespread irritation of Democrats, voters still said that if an election was held today, they would back a Democrat for Congress over a Republican by 3 points, 46 to 43. It's still a drop from this time in 2017, 6 months into Trump's first term, when Democrats held an 8-point advantage in that category. This is the whole idea, guys. It's not about the polling, and we're so far away from the midterms, and we are even further away from 2028. Look at this from a broad-based perspective. The Democrats are so despised and they are so disliked that they can't even get consensus to have a conversation. That is only benefiting you. I don't care about how negative they are, or their negative perception. I care about how we can use that negative perception to further our goals. Yes, by all means, go over here and be just completely irrelevant while we actually do things that matter for our rights in the next generation. That's the whole point. That's why I broaden out the topics on this channel from not only 2A, but also the ancillary things that basically run parallel to everything else. We are winning. We are in a position where we can make this work. We just have to continue to grind. That's what I've got for you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm Braden. See you later.